Hi everybody, this is Bogus Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a Throwback Thursday review on the McFarlane Toys Movie Maniacs Blair Witch figure. So before we take a look at the Blair Witch, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So first up, she should have came with her movie poster holder. All Movie Maniacs came with them, but this one didn't. I don't know what the chances of getting one that actually didn't come with that are. Truth be told, I probably wouldn't have used it, but it would have been cool if it would have actually been included since it was supposed to come in this. Up next, you get the stick formation, and that looks really good. The sculpt of it is really nice. I feel like the paint is a bit of a letdown, though. I think it's cast in black and just has gray paint over top of it. Would have been cool if they would have painted some tones of brown, maybe even a little bit of moss over top of that. It still has some really good sculpt detail to it, though. Up next, you get this bundle of sticks. It has some really awesome sculpt detail to it. Just like with the stick formation, it just had this kind of grayish collar paint to it. But you can actually open it up. It is on hinges. You can open it up and see a piece of cloth inside with an ear, some teeth, and an eyeball in it. The eyeball could have been painted a little bit better, but it's still cool that you can open it up and see the details inside there. Up next, she comes with her scythe. And this looks really cool. It looks like she made it from materials that she found in the forest. The blade looks like a sharpened piece of stone. The texturing on that looks really good. You get a little bit of blood paint to it. The handle is a really long tree branch. And it looks like maybe there's some rope on the top there attaching it. But that actually looks really good. I feel like, just like with all of her other accessories, the paint variation could have been a little bit better, other than just some gray slapped on there. But it still looks really cool nonetheless. And finally, you get this cloth covering that goes over her head. It is a rubbery material, but it's sculpted really well, and the way it's sculpted, it drapes on the figure really nicely. I actually think that's scarier than outright seeing the face. You know, the mystery of what's underneath that is a little bit scarier. The way you can see a little bit of her teeth and eyes showing through right there in the holes. That looks really good. And you get some amazing texturing on this. The texturing is crazy, and it's brought out really nicely by this light gray wash. So yeah, that looks really awesome. I actually think I'll probably leave it displayed like this, because as I said, I think that is actually a little bit scarier than outright seeing the face. That looks really cool. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at her head sculpt. So taking a look at this head sculpt, McFarlane Toys did a really awesome job at sculpting and painting it. This is based on a concept sketch by Todd McFarlane himself. And man, this looks really cool. She looks like she's merged with the forest. You know, you can still see a little semblance of her human form in there, but not by much. You get a bunch of really cool details on her. The way that her skin almost resembles bark now. That looks very awesome. I wish the teeth would have been painted a little bit better, though. Like each individual tooth be painted on, because up here it's all one part, and then down here the paint kind of blends into the other teeth. But you get a bunch of variation in paint. You get light brown, dark brown, green, a little bit of that grayish color. That looks really cool. And she has these really striking red eyes with yellow pupils. Those really stand out. For some reason, her antlers are articulated. I don't think that was honestly necessary. I would have preferred a neck swivel. Her head is kind of just pre-posed in that position right there. So it's weird that they didn't give her head any articulation, but they did her antlers. Because honestly, if you move the antlers around, that kind of looks ridiculous. I can't take it quite as serious with her antlers like that. They are sculpted so that they're meant to be posed a specific way. If you look, the sculpt will line up and flow really nicely. So this figure, even on the arms, is meant to be posed a specific way, because then all of the sculpt will line up and look really nice. I feel like a lot of where the paint shines is on the body here. As I said, she almost looks like she's merged with the forest itself, but you can still see a little bit of like her rib cage right there with that light gray paint over top of it. But there's a lot of mossy details on her too. You can see the greens painted on there. You can see a little bit of veins on her. That looks really good. Just the texturing on her skin down here, that is out of this world. I'm still amazed at the sculpt on this. The material for her dress down here, the shredded dress, it almost looks like it's a translucent type material. The one that goes over her head didn't quite look the same, but this almost looks like it's see-through. It looks like it's like a translucent gray plastic with a little bit of a black wash and then some light gray detailing over top of that. It's kind of weird how that looks. Even the hands are extremely detailed. The texturing to the fingers right there, and even the claws looks really good. The claws are done in this, it's kind of like a tan color it looks like to me. But man, that variation looks really good. Back here you can see it looks like her spine is showing just a little bit with some light gray paint over top of that. You can see some more vines and stuff. Man, that looks really awesome. You get a little bit of blood paint on the dress right here, and you get a lot down here. This is kind of posed to make it look like it's being dragged behind her. I think that looks pretty good for the most part. You get some really, really awesome texturing here on the legs. You get some, it almost looks like skin tone variation right here, as well as some more of that green and brown paint. Man, that looks really good. I'm just surprised at the amount of paint variation she has. And even the bottoms of her feet are sculpted really nicely. There's no sort of variation to them, but they're still textured really good, and they have peg holes. She can stand, but she falls over about as much as she does stand. So I wanted to see something here. I have a DC Multiverse stand. Will she work on this? Yeah, that actually pegs into her foot really nicely. So if you have any extra DC Multiverse stands and have this figure, then you can put that on her to get her standing up perfectly. So now, let's go ahead and go over her articulation. So as I said, each antler spins all the way around, though it is meant to be in one position, that way the sculpt will line up there. She has shoulders that can move all the way around. They do spin all the way around both sides. It's kind of stiff, but it does move all the way around. She has swivel here at the elbow that can move side to side, wrists that can spin all the way around, and she has hips that can move up and down very slightly. You might split the dress right here. It looks like it's glued together right here on her left hip. So you don't want to move her hips around too much, or else you could split the dress there. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because I think McFarlane Toys did a really awesome job on this. The sculpt and paint work is crazy. Just like with most of the McFarlane figures at this time, the articulation is pretty limited, but it more than makes up for that in the sculpt and paint work. Now there is actually a variant of this. It's the human-faced one, and that one is actually terrifying. I think McFarlane Toys did a really awesome job on that. That's not one that I have, but I do hope to get at some point in the future. But for now, I'll settle for this one. I think this is actually still pretty decently priced on the aftermarket, so this one should be pretty easy and semi-affordable to get if you can find one. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.